The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Sarah Chen stepped forward, her boots echoing against the polished crystalline floor. Around her, representatives from 12 different species watched with barely concealed anticipation. The Veltar delegation's antennae twitched nervously, while the massive Garothian delegate's breathing apparatus wheezed in what she recognized as anxiety. "Humans," began Councillor Zephyrus, his blue-scaled face contorting into what passed for a diplomatic smile among his people. "We have called you here today to discuss recent events." Sarah's expression remained neutral. She knew exactly which events they meant. 3 months ago, the mining colony of Kepler 442b had been attacked by raiders from the Broken Chain Syndicate. 47 civilians had died, including children. The Galactic Council had offered their usual response: sanctions, diplomatic protests, and a formal investigation that would take years to complete. Humanity had offered something different entirely. "The Council appreciates that your species feels strongly about justice," Zephyrus continued, his voice taking on the patronizing tone that Sarah had grown to despise over her 5 years as Earth's primary ambassador. "However, your recent actions against the Broken Chain have been excessive." Sarah almost laughed. Excessive. That's what they called it when humanity had tracked down every single raider involved in the attack within 6 weeks? Not just the foot soldiers, but their commanders, suppliers, financiers, and the corrupt officials who had looked the other way. They expected her to apologize for efficiency. "You see," interjected Councillor Thane, a Veltar whose species was renowned for their philosophical approach to conflict resolution, "we understand that humans experience anger more intensely than most civilized species. It's not your fault. It's simply your primitive emotional makeup. We don't blame you for your impulses." The condescension was so thick Sarah could practically taste it. Around the chamber she saw nods of agreement. These species had convinced themselves that humanity's approach to justice was some kind of evolutionary throwback, a crude response from a young species that hadn't yet learned the sophisticated ways of galactic civilization. They wanted mercy. They expected her to stand here and apologize for humanity's barbaric response, to promise that Earth would submit to Council oversight in the future, to accept their guidance like a wayward child. Instead, Sarah smiled. "You want to know what I think about your assessment of humanity?" she asked, her voice carrying clearly through the chamber's acoustic enhancement field. "I think you're cowards." The reaction was immediate. Gasps echoed through the chamber. Councillor Zephyrus's scales flushed a deep purple, a sign of outrage among his people. The Garothian delegate's breathing apparatus hissed in what sounded like mechanical indignation. "How dare," Zephyrus began, but Sarah cut him off. "No, let me finish. You call us primitive because we don't tolerate the murder of innocents. You call us barbaric because we actually do something about injustice instead of forming committees to discuss forming committees. You think mercy means allowing evil to flourish unchecked." She began walking around the chamber's center, her gaze moving from delegate to delegate. "The Broken Chain has been operating for over 2 decades. 2 decades. In that time, they've raided 17 colonies, killed thousands of civilians, and enslaved entire populations. And what did this council do? You passed resolutions. You issued strongly worded statements. You held peace talks with pirates and slavers. The diplomatic process takes time," Thane protested weakly. "Time that those 47 people on Kepler 442b didn't have," Sarah snapped. "Time that the 8,000 people currently in Broken Chain slave camps don't have. But you don't care about them, do you? They're not your people." The Veltar councillor's antennae flattened against his skull. "That's not... We cannot simply resort to violence every time?" "Every time?" Sarah's laugh was sharp. "This isn't every time. This is 47 dead children. This is a decades-old criminal organization that you've enabled through your inaction. And now you have the audacity to lecture us about proper behavior?" She stopped walking and faced the council directly. "You want to know what humanity learned from this experience? We learned that the galaxy's civilized species will watch innocents die, rather than dirty their hands with the unpleasant business of actually stopping evil. We learned that you care more about appearing sophisticated than protecting the weak. Counselor Zephyrus's voice was strained. The broken chain has been neutralized. Surely that's enough. Neutralized? Sarah's eyebrows rose. Is that what you call it when we turned over 8,000 freed slaves to their home worlds? When we returned billions of credits in stolen wealth to the families of victims? When we handed you detailed evidence of every corrupt official who took broken chain money, evidence you've apparently decided to ignore? The chamber was dead silent now. Sarah could see the delegates shifting uncomfortably, unable to meet her gaze. Here's the brutal honesty you didn't want to hear, she continued. Humanity doesn't need your approval. We don't need your guidance. And we certainly don't need lectures about morality from species who mistake inaction for wisdom. She moved toward the chamber's exit, then paused. The broken chain is gone. 8,000 slaves are free. 47 murders have been answered for. If you think that makes us barbaric, then I suppose barbarism is what justice looks like when civilized. People refuse to provide it. As the chamber doors closed behind her, Sarah Chen left the Galactic Council to contemplate a truth they weren't prepared to face. Sometimes the most merciful thing you can do for the innocent is to be merciless to those who would harm them. Humanity had chosen its path. Let the galaxy judge them for it.